Musicians. With Jorah LaFleur.
Welcome to Musicians and Pie with Jorah LaFleur. I'm Jorah LaFleur.
Episode 1.
And today's sponsor is Moss Crossing. They are the friendliest joint in town. And today's pie is chocolate cream. You know, like I feel like this is gonna be sweet pie, right? I know. Can we edge in here? Can we just like edge in towards this?
I know. Is this just serendipitous that there's a crow here, or is this like?
It's not a coincidence, Dorian Crow.
Is this a conspiracy going on?
Right? So here's
this little cute, adorable baby crow is joining us for this.
Okay, let's spend a little more foreplay time. Describe yourselves, this new project, as hip-hop laced with jazz, funk, and soul. What I want to know, first and foremost, is visually, how would you describe this pie?
Let's start with beautiful.
Beautiful.
And well, I mean, really, deliciosity is defined by the level of swirliness. And as you can tell, the intricate, multi-dimensional layer of swirliness weaves into the fabric of the deliciosity of the pie.
Here we go.
You're now rocking with the Scoob and the SageCrow. So good, I done put us on a payroll. We lay low till it's time for the stage go. 2 claps, then it's back to the dance floor. You're now rocking with the Scoob and the SageCrow. So good, I done put us on a payroll. We lay low till it's time for the stage show. Laying back in the cut, switching my rap up. Scoob is back and snap up with a fat cup. A chrome juice, but to smack that like a Mack truck. Back up, cause I'm back up.
Exciting. So, as I understand it, you have been performing together in various combinations since the 90s. Now, I like to think of the 90s as just like a little while ago because I graduated high school in the 90s, but I recognize that that is not true. That's like 20 years ago. So tell me a little bit about the original origins of this project, how far back y'all go.
All right, I'll start with that one. This guy and I have been working together like 25 years almost. Like early 90s?
It was like 96.
Okay, mid-90s.
It was like 96.
Yeah, but so I make beats, I'm Sage, and this guy is an amazing lyricist, obviously, as you'll see in the show. And we got together when we were much younger, and then we just clicked and became good friends. And that is clutch with music, is friendship. You know, you develop many of those everywhere you go. So through years and time, separation, coming back together, we just kept grinding and making more music. And here we are today with Dorian Crow now. Mm-hmm. And amazing bass player he is.
Yeah, I first met up with Michael K. and probably around 98.
Yeah, it was like
99.
99, 98. I was the keyboard player for Organic Assault Weapon with drummer James West, MCs Short Round and Kenny Wilson. And it was actually Short Round. Short Round was one of the first people that I met when I came to Eugene in 92. Him and Nami, rest in peace, and Big Baloo the Sasquatch and Tofu. There was like this vibrant music culture back then, and we used to go to Baloo's house, the bakery, and that's where I recorded my first tapes. And so it was with Short Round that I met Sage, because they started Dirtbag Foundation with Cause, right? Who's been a big force in the art part of our creativity. And so I linked up with Short Round, linked up with Sage, and we did some early songs. We did a Secret Recipe.
Yeah.
We did Secret Recipe, which was like
Mellow Moods.
Yeah, it was like
Mind shining, combine my perfect time with destiny, manifesting me entities, cause the best of me enhances the chances to freedom, find the truth, to feed him the knowledge. No stalling, the fallen angel is calling the voices of purpose, choice, but once it's the slipping, sacrifices flipping, or slipping, but my script at the other level.
I was like 17 years old. I was like 17 years old when I did that. So yeah, that's 90s. That's 90s.
Let's walk through a couple of the steps. I know recently you have worked together as We Tribe. So tell me a little bit about sort of that journey and how it has flowed into the current incarnation.
Basically, Dorian and I were working together, and we formed kind of like this intuitive like breaks, beats, you know, and bass, and like just I'm breaking down beats, and he's killing these freestyle bass lines, and then we started working with Scoob, going over to his house, and just freestyling. A lot of the songs that you hear now were like 6 years ago we were forming. And then me and Marv formed We Tribe and came together. It was 5 of us and then we went on like tours and we're busy with that for almost almost 6 years. And by the end, he was in it. Another member came into it, Val. She's an amazing MC also. And
With the We Tribe Collective, though, too, that it really was, you know, a band of brothers and I was going to say sisters, but brothers and sis with Val. And, you know, you get all the craziness and the intricacies of different personalities and different things. But at the end of the day, like, we all knew we were, like, creative and talented, and we loved each other as brothers and, you know, saw ourselves as family first and embraced all the adventures and different things that we learned and getting through the hardships and being able to sit around the campfire on tour and share the stories and just laugh. And, you know what I
Brings me
mean?
to a more process-oriented question. Is there one way that things usually start, or does it totally depend?
A lot of the times what would end up happening is that, like, Sage would just press play on a beat, and then, like, literally, like, 10 seconds later, Dorian would come in with a bass line, and I would kind of listen, and, like, 10 seconds later, like, I'm like, da, 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 like, I'm literally just making mouth noises, da, 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 and those ended up being, like, what the songs are. We're off those original first, like, 30 seconds of the jam. Da, 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 da. That was just dropping a beat, what bass line to this, and next thing you know, we would just keep going with, you know, and it's a song.
how'd it go?
And then doing the whole We Tribe thing for so long and touring and learning about that, and, you know, there were just so many things that we learned. So it was like, that was the original birth of it, like, or the impregnation, like, and it's a long baby that was carried, and it's like something has happened recently where the water broke, like, it's crowning,
That
you
was
know,
like
Right.
the 6-year gestation.
It's like humans, they're 9 months, but like spiritual, creative, musical babies, you don't even know how long it's gonna take for them to come out. You know what I'm saying?
I'm like, hashtag long baby. My new favorite thing.
The permission to be yourself and have the people around you accept that, it just creates a much better, you know, going back, like, it creates a much better womb. You know, there's not as much stress on the baby because it's a beautiful pregnancy. You know what I'm saying? You know, and the
Hashtag
mother's
no
not,
stress
and
baby.
and the mother's not being like, I hope this baby is so beautiful.
Let's get lost all together. Take a break from all the pressure that this life can often bring. It's your time, all my people. We came to feel some freedom, even if it's just one night. and a place to be. Gratitude for every time we got a place to eat. That's what we speak to educate the seeds. Can't sit by the water nation bleeds. We disperse the energy for the peeps in need, and then we rise. Yeah. No matter what is going on, we gonna make it through. When the sound is coming to you from the SageCrow, it's guaranteed to lift you up, so it's gonna be alright.
And you know, I love the longevity and the way that you describe your passion for working together. So tell me a little bit more about your musical bromance. I would love to hear about why.
Since you put it that way.
Right? Like why you guys love working with each other so much. Because it really, you know, people come and go, collaborative projects come and go. And so when something endures and comes back over time and still has that much, not just like nostalgic energy, but new energy. That means there's something.
Can I start that one off? I'll just real quick and then pass it. It starts with deep friendship.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're really good friends and have been for a long time. And even those musical relationships back, they weren't primarily musical relationships. Like, we were connected humans.
Here on behalf of Studio 541, really putting emphasis on the beautiful art scene that we have here in our area code. Can you share some of your vision for what could be possible for the arts and music scene here in Eugene? Because I think you have some really exciting ideas about how to just elevate our creative scene as a whole.
It's this, like, we had a genuine, super rich, like, hip-hop culture in Eugene in the early 90s. I'm talking, I mean, I came in the scene at 92, but there were, you know, the OGs before me that since the late 80s. And, like, I was around these you know, older cats that I was convinced were the dopest rappers in the world. Like, I'd been in rooms with people in front of me, like, spitting something that I had never heard on a record, or like it was. And so, you know, my heart and my soul have been connected to this idea of the Northwest because I've encountered those people that I'm like, oh my gosh, this is something special. 541 Productions, like all the acts that are about to come through here. The rest of the world, the music world, does not know it exists. So this idea of a concentrated place where, you know, we could come together and build the attention and the gravity of it, and people could see and be like, oh my gosh, like Pandora's box, like how is it we did not know there's this whole, you know, because people are like, I just want to hear something new. I want to hear something I haven't heard before. And then open a whole box of that. You're like, oh my, that's like the Northwest, you know? This is why the crucial thing that we're missing in our country and the politics and the economy and the situation, we just need more poets. And so all of these things, like all the goofing around and the funniness and the seriousness and the lyrics and the spontaneity and the crow, it's just poetry, emotion, you know? And we feel like this record that we captured, it doesn't sound like nothing else. It wasn't based on something we were trying to create. We just tried to fully be ourselves and let whatever wanted to come out and give it permission to. So the muses came and they played around in us, and we continue to let them do that. And not let them, but we open a space for them to be able to do that. And we feel like this record captures that, and that hopefully this interview captures that, and the studio session that we did tonight captures that, because that's really all it is. We're just trying to create a space where you know, the forces and the spirit of the poets and the arts and the roots and everything can come and be a you know, antidote to the F word. I want to use it, but you know, I'll refrain because you know. She's never heard nothing like that before. But you know what I'm saying? The cluster F word or the effery, the, you know, all those sort of things. You know what I'm saying?
Beautiful. Do you hear that, America? You just need more poets. A song with y'all called Invite the Muses.
Okay.
Yes.
I just want to write. Just that now.
It's on.
Just a little spoken word. A
It's
little
on.
invite the muses. That was one of the best images. I'm feeling it. I'm gonna go home and invite some muses tonight.
Okay.
I just want to write.
And then the follow up to that, as long as we could do something that's like fly soul in the pie hole.
Anybody want any pie yet? I'm
Right?
staring at this thing for a
A
while.
little bird told me it's
think
time
we'll
to
go
eat
for
the
the
pie.
pie.
I know.
You
I
know,
feel like
those-
we need to get into this pie.
That would be
Okay, I don't
nice.
know. Who feels like they have some serious knife skills? Do you want me to do it?
Do
You
you?
guys feel...
I mean, this guy makes knives.
I'll hand it
Makes
over.
knives. I
I'll
mean, like,
hand it
what's up?
over.
What's
Okay.
up? Let's see some
Okay,
cut
Joy
with
and
me.
Two Crows. Let's see what happens. If a bird doesn't fly out, I'm already disappointed.
You gotta do the Game of Thrones scene. Sorry, this is like Joffrey's wedding. Thank you for the birth of 541 Productions in honor of 3. Please cut the pie.
Cut the pie
And of
again.
course, it's like a kidney pie in that situation or something. But can you green screen that? Like, can we do something with that? Or okay, no.
There you
All right.
go. There you go.
Okay.
Oh my God.
All right.
All right, nobody poison anybody.
Official
okay? 'Cause
pie
I know what
visors.
happens in the next scene.
You know what I'm
Slow down. It's a cream
It's
pie.
a juicy pie.
Yeah.
Oh my
So-
goodness.
We might be better off with
Right?
like a spoon.
I mean, if Dorian played bass like he cut pie,
Yeah, I
like
don't.
the band would be 2.
Yeah. Oh, what are you
No, I'm just playing. I'm super thankful that Dorian is sacrificing himself.
Right?
Now, how
Not.
much chocolate cream do you want? Can you handle is the question.
Well, I've been known that.
We about to go there, people.
How much can she handle?
Have a,
There's only 2 pie visors. I mean, what's up, man? This shit's
I also
about to
have a
get crazy
background
up
in
here.
sound engineering and like techniques of capturing the sonics of certain things. So this I picked up in sound engineering school the armpit technique, so that when you do need to eat pie, as long as you can get the nuances of the play.
Right?
And
Advanced
then
pie
if
pit.
you got a pie visor, the sound bounces off of the plate and back, and it creates kind of a feedback loop to have. Like that's really the inspiration for the ambiance that I have in my set. Where I do the, you know what I'm saying? It's like kind of armpit. It starts with armpit pie visor techniques of pie eating sonic capture.
Yeah, that seems legit. I'm going to call it Cream Cave. Does that work for you?
Whoa. I didn't take my visor off for that one. Now, what's up?
Right?
The
Yep.
cream cave.
The Cream Cave. Uh-huh.
Cream cake.
Episode 1.
If we wrap it back around to our primary question, so there was some talk about how you would describe the pie before you got into it. But now you're in there. You're in the pie hole. You're in the cream cave.
We were just
What?
like,
Right?
You know what?
It exceeded expectations, honestly. Like I thought the chocolate might be a little thick, might be a little too rich to handle, but it's
What about the cream
light
level?
and creamy.
Dude, cream level. 1 to 10.
I mean, dude, they're hitting like 8, 9.
what I was gonna
Like
say, solid
honestly, the balance
Solid 8.
is really splendid between the cream and the chocolate.
Yeah.
I mean, I felt like from the moment that I dove in and then gazed into the center and the source, the depths of the pie hole, I was like, this is so good.
Don't lose your pie, man. Don't lose your pie, man.
The depths of this pie hole is
So creamy. This pie hole's so creamy.
I really like this evolution. I think
The
it's
name of this episode. Episode 1. Oh.
Well, you know, NASA just released the photos of the black hole, but we're like, hold my beer. Black pie hole.
We're going in, boys. We're going in. No parental advisory on this album, man. This is straight raw.
we're gonna try.
But see that's the thing though. When you get in context, the song "Vibe with Us" that we played tonight or whatever, we said like NASA, baby, and we ready to blast off. It's talking like NASA, black holes, and double, like it's
so
all interconnected. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We've been rocking together in some capacity since like the early 90s. And now we want to show you how we get down.
From the minute I came into the door, kept it raw, had them on the dance floor like they up in the dance hall. Like Shakespeare and he ain't gonna romance y'all with some poetry emotion. This is the chance, y'all, to be a part of the We Tribe. First call, we is a tree, I'm just taking the branch off like NASA, baby, and we ready to blast off. Come choose what we do, we taking the mask off, yeah, letting it all hang out, pants off. We unite till we become Uncle Sam's boss. Life is a mystery like an episode of Lost. We crashed on an island, now we running through the fort. Got the black smoke chasing like the dark side of the force. My pastime is rhyming with the 40 gun the porch. Steadily on my grizzly, stay the hell out to my porch. As we understood the poem of the Middle East and on the chorus line.
We just came to have a party, you know what I'm saying? Even if it's people sitting around on couches, appreciating the art that we got in the sound. We just trying to create a vibe, and so we invite you to come vibe with us.
With his color, we
No, I'm not being funny. Like literally, like.
It's going
No,
down
I
now.
didn't do it. It's not what you
This is
looks
the first
like.
casualty.
Not what it looks like.
Baby crow goes down.
Episode 1. Oh. Green cake.
Oh. And then they started slaughtering animals. So if we want to find the EP that's coming out this summer, if we want to be delighted by your antics and your talents, where do we find you on the interwebs and otherwise?
I would say we'll find you.
Yeah.
That's like both exciting
We're trying
and a
this
little
new
creepy.
thing. It's like door-to-door music. We're going to go to every house and hand out
Well, are you
music.
listed in the yellow pages?
No,
Get an
we'll
album.
be on all the normal, like the interweb, as they call it, all the main platforms and all that. We don't have to say all their names. Everybody knows what they are. Spotify, iTunes, Facebook. You know what I mean? Everybody says the same shit, but it'll be on all.
Made it official. Y'all tied your bromance knot. The baby was born, whatever we want to say.
what it was.
The pie got eaten, like the birds flew out. And it's just, I think it's really, there's a, whatever that little decision, I think there's a translation to the sound. And it was beautiful. And I really enjoyed the show tonight. I know that you will too. So please do go check out the musical performance live from Studio 541 on our YouTube channel if you haven't already. And it's a good workout if you let it be. Thank you again, all the members
Thanks,
of
Jorah.
Three.
Thanks,
Thank
man.
you to
For sure.
Studio 541 Productions. And thank you very much to our sponsors, Moss Crossing, the friendliest joint in town. Y'all want some more pie?
Oh, yeah.
Honored to be the first act of the official 541 Productions. And yeah. And it's great to see the level of drive and inspiration and collaborative effort and the level of diversity that comes together around such simple events, such simple expressions of creativity and gathering with pure hearts. This is the first of many to show the rest of the world how we do in the 541. The unique soul that we got, the unique flavor and creativity that we
it uplifts the culture and not tries to like bog it down with more stress and negativity, you know what I'm saying? And so this song is a contemplation. Like, what if this was your last moment? What if you died today? And it goes like this. What if it's your last moment? Yeah. What if you die today? Back on your life. Think that you did alright. Yeah, you died today. And if I die today, tell my children that I really love them. And if I die today, please tell my friends it's been a real.
So we just want to say how appreciative and sincerely grateful that we are that you would even consider sharing a creative and energetic space for us and be attentive to us just doing what we love is express ourselves and try to take the gifts that we've given, the gifts of art and creativity, and to be able to spread the message and the art and that people want to gather around and enjoy it. It literally feels like life has meaning and purpose with us together like this, for real. So shout out to 541 Productions, and for all those who are gonna be tuning in, like, y'all should probably have your eyes on the 541 because we got something special out here, you know? Yeah. Dorian Crow on the bass. Sage on the ASR 10. I am Michael K, aka Scoob. Everything is okay. It'll be just fine. Just give it some time. The past is gone now, so we gotta move on, even if we don't know how. So we sing, ooh. Musician with Jorah LaFleur. Musician.